Welcome to Organic Awakening, the space where natural wisdom meets modern science to help you reclaim your vitality, confidence, and deep masculine energy, naturally. I need you to pause and pay close attention if you're a man over 60 and you've been encouraged to eat more vegetables for your health. Because one of those healthy vegetables sitting in your fridge right now might be silently draining your energy, enlarging your prostate, and sabotaging your performance in ways no one warned you about. Listen, what you're experiencing isn't simply aging. It's not your fault. It's the result of eating what society told you was healthy, while ignoring what your hormones, your metabolism, and your masculine biology actually need. At Organic Awakening, we bring you insights based on the clinical experience of urologists and men's health specialists with decades of expertise. Professionals who've helped thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s naturally restore their testosterone, circulation, and vitality. And what they've seen again and again is this: the most powerful treatment isn't found in a pill. It's found on your plate. What if I told you that some vegetables, yes, even the ones you've been told are good for your heart, contain compounds that can increase estrogen, stiffen your arteries, and inflame your prostate? In this video, I'll reveal 3 vegetables you've likely overlooked, but that science shows can radically support your prostate, restore blood flow, and rekindle your confidence in just days. And if you're serious about circulation, testosterone, and lasting libido, I'll also tell you 3 vegetables you should stop eating immediately. And stay tuned, because I'll also give you a powerful tip on how to prepare these veggies to maximize nutrient absorption, so you can stay strong, clear-minded, and vibrant, even at 80. You'll never look at your vegetables the same way again. Before we dive into these eye-opening truths, make sure you subscribe to Organic Awakening and hit the notification bell. This way, you won't miss any of our videos on natural strength, sharp thinking, and vibrant manhood after 60 and beyond. Let me share a powerful story with you. James was a 68-year-old retired school principal, sharp-minded, deeply in love with his wife, and seemingly in good health. But something essential was missing. Quietly embarrassed and deeply confused, he decided to seek help. He explained, "Everything else seems fine, but I don't feel like myself anymore. My energy is gone, I'm tired all the time, and the fire in the bedroom, it's just gone." After a full checkup, nothing alarming stood out. His cholesterol was only slightly elevated, his heart looked fine. But one thing caught attention. His testosterone levels were low, and his estrogen levels were unusually high for a man his age. So what was causing it? When asked about his diet, James proudly explained that he had cut out red meat and dairy years ago. Instead, he filled his plate with what he believed were heart-healthy alternatives: tofu, soy milk, and edamame, just as his cardiologist had recommended. And that's when the pieces started to come together. Soy is the first vegetable men over 60 should consider cutting back on or even avoiding altogether. Despite its health halo, soy is loaded with phytoestrogens, plant-based compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. And for men whose testosterone is already in natural decline with age, that hormonal interference can shift the balance in the wrong direction. What does that mean in everyday life? Less energy, lower libido, a softer, less defined body, and for many men like James, erections that fade, become inconsistent, or disappear altogether. But soy doesn't always show up obviously. It sneaks into everyday foods, snacks, protein bars, sauces, and meat substitutes. It's cheap, it's labeled healthy, but your hormones can tell the difference. James was skeptical at first, but he was open to change. He replaced soy with cleaner, more balanced protein sources, and within weeks, he noticed a shift. More strength, more energy, more presence. A month later, his wife sent a short, heartfelt note. It simply said, "Thank you. You gave me my husband back." Now, am I saying soy is toxic? No, but it's one of those healthy foods that men over 60, especially those feeling tired, foggy, or less like themselves, should approach with caution. And that brings us to the next surprising food on the list. It's even more common, even more widely praised, and possibly just as problematic when it comes to male vitality.
Corn. It's one of the most common ingredients on the planet, found in everything from protein shakes and breakfast bars to healthy sauces and frozen dinners. But in its processed forms, corn may be silently working against you, triggering inflammation, stiffening your arteries, and slowing blood flow to areas that matter most. And I'm not talking about corn on the cob at a backyard BBQ. I'm talking about what corn has become. Corn syrup, cornstarch, corn oil, the industrial building blocks of the modern diet. Let me tell you a story. His name was Robert. At 62, he was the kind of man who tried to do everything right. He watched his weight, avoided junk food, and even made the switch from butter to margarine, thinking it was the heart-healthy choice. But something wasn't adding up. He came to me not out of vanity, but out of frustration. He was tired all the time. His joints ached, and privately, he admitted he was dealing with erectile dysfunction. "I'm doing everything they told me to do," he said. "Why do I feel worse than ever?" That's when the truth started to unravel. What Robert didn't know was that the so-called healthier oils in his margarine, like corn oil, were flooding his system with omega-6 fatty acids. Yes, we need some omega-6s, but they must be in balance with omega-3s, found in foods like flax, walnuts, and wild salmon. Modern diets have thrown that balance off completely. Some people consume up to 20 times more omega-6 than their body can handle. And when that ratio is off, the body enters a state of low-grade inflammation, like a fire that never goes out. That inflammation slowly damages the endothelium, the inner lining of the arteries, the very tissue responsible for producing nitric oxide, the molecule that helps blood vessels relax and blood flow increase, especially where men need it most. So we shifted gears. We cut out the processed oils, corn, soy, seed blends, and loaded up his plate with omega-3 rich foods, real food, whole food, anti-inflammatory nourishment. Within weeks, Robert was a different man. His joints loosened up, his energy returned, and quietly, one morning, he told me something that said it all. I woke up and things were working again. Now let me introduce you to William, 67 years old, former marathon runner, lean, active, disciplined. Every morning, without fail, he blended up a big green smoothie packed with raw spinach, spirulina, and superfood powders. He thought he was doing everything right, but his body told a different story. Despite a clean diet, William's zinc levels were low. His testosterone even lower. His libido had disappeared, and he didn't know why. The answer was hidden in his greens. Raw spinach is packed with oxalates, tiny compounds that act like nutrient thieves. They bind to essential minerals like zinc in the digestive tract and escort them right out of the body before they can ever be absorbed. Zinc, especially for men, is non-negotiable. It's essential for testosterone production, prostate health, and reproductive vitality. William, unknowingly, was depleting himself, one smoothie at a time. But when we swapped his morning routine for something as simple as an omelet with lightly sautéed spinach, everything began to shift. Within a few weeks, his blood work improved, his energy lifted, and slowly that spark he thought was gone forever started to come back. It wasn't magic. It was just physiology, finally allowed to work as nature intended. So, What's the real takeaway? Sometimes the foods we think are helping might be quietly working against us. Sometimes the healthy choice isn't healthy for you if it's processed, imbalanced, or prepared the wrong way. But here's the good news. You can turn this around quickly and naturally. Now that you know the hidden enemies on your plate, it's time to shift toward rebuilding your energy, circulation, and hormonal vitality. In the next video, I'll reveal 3 forgotten vegetables, simple, affordable, powerful allies that every man over 60 should be eating right now. You don't need gimmicks. You don't need pills. You just need to reconnect with what your body has been asking for all along. The future of your health is not behind you, it's ahead of you, waiting for your next choice.
Now that you're aware of the secret adversaries hiding on your plate, let's switch roles. It's time to actively restore your strength, circulation, and hormonal balance by focusing on 3 forgotten heroes, the vegetables every man over 60 should be eating right now. These aren't exotic or expensive. In fact, most men ignore them precisely because they're so common. Our first hero, beets. The undeniable champion of circulation. If poor blood flow is your enemy, beets are your one-man army. Do you remember James and how he felt a lack of pressure in his system? Beets were the simple answer. They're one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates. When you eat beets, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, the master molecule that relaxes and opens up your blood vessels so blood can circulate vigorously. Think of it like turning a kinked garden hose into a firefighter's cannon. Beet juice can dramatically reduce blood pressure and improve endothelial function. That's the health of your arterial linings. A study in the Journal of Nutrition confirmed it. But here's what most people overlook. How you eat your beets matters. Pickled or canned beets lose much of their magic. The high heat used for preservation destroys a large percentage of those beneficial nitrates. Plus, pickling adds vinegar and sodium, which can counteract the very benefits you're trying to gain. To reap the rewards, stick with fresh beets, grated in a salad, lightly roasted, or steamed. Our second hero, broccoli. It's a quiet powerhouse for hormonal balance. Most men focus only on testosterone, but the real key to male vitality lies in balancing testosterone with estrogen. And broccoli helps do just that. Broccoli, like cauliflower and other cruciferous veggies, contains sulforaphane, a remarkable compound that lowers inflammation, supports liver detox, and most important for older men, helps eliminate excess estrogen to support a more optimal testosterone level. But here's the catch. Sulforaphane is extremely heat sensitive. When broccoli is overcooked, or worse, microwaved, you lose most of that therapeutic compound. What's left is just bland fiber. Yes, it fills your stomach, but it won't defend your aging body. Remember Robert, the bloated, foggy-headed patient? He told me proudly, "I eat broccoli every night." But when I asked how he prepared it, he replied, "I microwave it for 5 minutes until it's really soft." Unknowingly, he was destroying the very nutrient his body desperately needed. When we made the simple switch, steaming broccoli for just 3 to 4 minutes, or even eating it raw with a nutritious dip, he started noticing small but powerful changes. His energy returned. His nighttime urination eased. His mental clarity improved. These are tiny adjustments, but for men over 60, little things matter. Small habits, repeated over time, can either build you up or slowly wear you down. Unfortunately, many men think they're doing the right thing by adding more veggies to their diet. But if they're not preparing them right, those efforts may not just be wasted, they might even be harmful. In addition to ruining the flavor, overcooking broccoli deprives your body of one of the strongest chemicals known to protect the prostate. This leads us to our last and third forgotten hero. And your testosterone's silent guardian is this one, gentlemen. Mushrooms. Indeed, mushrooms. in particular the typical white button mushrooms that you may buy at any supermarket. They are far more than just an element for salads or pizza. They are a true natural pharmacy for the hormonal well-being of men. Let me introduce you to William, the runner I mentioned earlier, who is 67 years old. Even though his zinc levels had improved, he felt that his libido and competitive drive were still low after modifying his spinach diet. Though not powerful, he felt better. His hormonal puzzle was lacking a piece. That component was a cunning enzyme that becomes increasingly active as people age. William was having trouble with an enzyme called aromatase. Consider aromatase to be a robber of testosterone. The body uses it to change your valuable testosterone into estrogen. Men's aromatase activity increases with age, especially if they have a little extra belly fat. In other words, this enzyme is stealing your testosterone from your body and converting it into the female hormone before you can use it. This explains why William didn't feel his best despite having healthy zinc levels. Too quickly, his testosterone was being converted into estrogen. This is where the beauty of mushrooms lies. Simple white button mushrooms have been shown to have substances that work as natural aromatase inhibitors. In scientific investigations, such as those conducted by the Beckman Research Institute, they don't directly increase the synthesis of testosterone. They behave more like bodyguards instead, by preventing the enzyme from converting your existing testosterone into estrogen. They protect it. This means that more of your testosterone remains in your blood to do its function as free, active testosterone. Increase your vitality, libido, mental clarity, and muscle mass. The last piece of the puzzle came together when I started feeding William sautéed mushrooms with garlic and olive oil a couple of times a week. A month or so later, he gave me a call. There was a new depth to his voice. He said, "This is it. The drive has returned. The energy isn't frenetic. I haven't felt that kind of composed, self-assured strength in more than 10 years. With each meal, he was actively defending his hormones. That's it. Properly prepared broccoli for hormonal balance, fresh beets for blood flow, and mushrooms to protect your testosterone levels. These dishes aren't trendy. There is actual science underlying these functional foods. They demonstrate that the solution to regaining your manhood lies on your plate rather than in a pill bottle. To ensure you get the most out of each of these veggies, let's tie it all together with a simple action plan and the bonus tip I promised. We've revealed which veggies you should steer clear of or prepare with caution, including soy due to its hormonal effects, processed corn due to its inflammatory burden, and too much raw spinach due to its zinc-thieving properties. And we found the 3 heroes you should include in your diet: mushrooms to protect your testosterone, properly prepared broccoli to regulate your hormones, and fresh beets to fill your body with nitric oxide. As promised, for those of you who stuck it through to the finish, here's the extra tip that will make it even better. We've discussed magnesium and zinc, but most guys don't know of a third mineral that can significantly increase testosterone. The overlooked mineral of male vigor is boron. Yes, boron.